tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, I'm really excited to see some PlayStation news drop after we record this because we've moved the date that it comes out now.
Right. In case you're not aware, we have indeed moved the release date of Platinum Explosion after 2 years?
3 years?
3 years nearly,
Almost.
I guess. Yeah, almost 3 years. Yeah. So after basically 3 years, we decided to move the show from releasing on Tuesday mornings to Wednesday mornings, which is when this has come out, of course.
When absolutely no other podcast comes out. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Let me make this clear. I don't care when other podcasts come out. There's fucking millions of podcasts. You cannot dodge the release dates of any other podcasts, right? It's fine. But we moved it because pretty much for the entirety of last year, we would record on our usual recording time we'd record like Monday morning. The podcast would release Tuesday morning, or Monday night, either Monday morning or Monday night. And then usually at around between like 11 p.m. Monday to 2 a.m.-ish Tuesday morning, they would announce something or do something, or even then they would decide to do a state of play like Wednesday afternoon or something like that. And after getting consistently pissed off about it, we've moved the show's date. So now, hopefully recording a day later, most of the time, may still have to record Monday some days, I don't know, the day jobs and whatever else get in the way. But hopefully we will miss less news, like literally one story, not a super big one today, but the first story we're going to talk about is one that we would have missed. It's not one I particularly care about, but it is something we would have missed, right? If we'd recorded our usual slot. And also releasing on Wednesday now means that like if they decide to do a state of play, even if it's like Wednesday afternoon, we can just postpone the show. And it means the show isn't getting postponed like 48 hours. It would only be like 12-ish hours until release or something, So it kind of just allows a lot more flexibility with how we want to do the show. So there's that. That's the, what do they call this section? What do you call it? Housekeeping. Thank you. That's the word. That's the word you use. This week in the trophy cabinet, bronze trophy for More Kingdom Hearts, silver trophy for a Dino multiplayer, a gold trophy for PlayStation getting new slogan, and we hit a platinum for a Last of Us animated spin-off that was. Diving into that story I mentioned first though. So Patapon 2 Remastered charges onto PS4 on the 30th of January, writes the PlayStation blog itself. Nick Cordino, producer at SIE, writes, patient members of Patapon Tribe, your rhythmic calls and chants have been answered. I'm proud to announce the Patapon 2 Remastered officially launches for PlayStation 4 on the 30th of January on the PlayStation Store. Please focus your oversized eyes on the new trailer above. For those unfamiliar with the franchise, Patapon is an innovative, what the that word's hard, hey? Rhythm-based 2D platform. Yeah, I'm skipping it. Rhythm-based 2D platform action game. Patapon 2 is the second entry in the Patapon story following the original game, which was remastered in 2018. Patapon 2 Remastered is a full 4K remaster of the 2008 PSP game. Now, of course, it would be amiss not to mention the fact that I'm pretty sure this was only made because Greg Miller yelled on Twitter about it every single fucking day. And all the loyal kind of funny fans, I guess, are now going to buy it as well. And that's how they'll make their money for it. I'm not a big Patapon person. I never played any of them on PSP when they originally released. I brought the remaster of the first one when that released. Probably talked about it on here a couple of years ago. I don't even remember if I did, but I assume I did.
Probably.
I thought it was okay. I didn't finish it. I like the music. I like the art style, I guess. I think I was struggling to fully grasp the rhythmic gameplay style thing. I don't know if that's like easier or like just more simple to understand in a sequel, hopefully, or something. I don't know. So maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I won't. Don't really know. There's not much coming out these days. So it is a release that's like a game that is releasing this week when there's not much really out, of course. So
that's a good start. A game that's releasing.
That's a game. Yeah, it's a game that's releasing, not get delayed. It's kind of funny also, of course.
There's still a whole week. There's still time.
There's 30th. It's out in like 2 days.
Yeah, there's still time for them to delay it.
Announces a game a day later, delays the game. At that stage, I'd throw something at the wall. Yeah, have you? I don't think you played the remaster.
I think
thing,
I downloaded like the PSP version. There might have been on PS Plus at some point. Like that sounds like something that would have happened. But yeah, I couldn't get into it either. I'm not very good at rhythm games. So
rhythm.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the thing that's happening, and that is a news story that we would have missed if we did not delay.
We would have been so angry.
Would have been so angry. In fact, there's no way that if I'd missed it, I definitely would have just not talked about it at all the following week because I wouldn't have cared. There you go. Next story. Yakuza Like a Dragon tops the Japanese sales charts in its first week, writes DualShockers. Of course, Ash is so excited for this game, he keeps thinking it's coming out soon, but it's not. Yakuza Like a Dragon smashes its way to the top of the weekly Japanese sales charts, beating out Pokemon Sword and Shield and DBZ Kakarot. Yakuza Like a Dragon launched in Japan on January 16th, according to Famitsu's estimated physical sales chart. The game is the top-selling game in Japan during its first week out. While the overall numbers aren't quite high for the franchise's highs from the PS3 era, this is still promising news in light of the studio choosing to take the game in a different direction for the 7th installment. Yakuza Like a Dragon sold an estimated 156,993 units thus far, which was enough to put it over games like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Pokemon Sword and Shield. It also puts the game ahead of both Judgment and Yakuza Kiwami 2 in terms of first week sales. However, Yakuza 7 was not able to top Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, in the same metric. I thought this was worth talking about. We don't usually talk about, obviously, Japanese sales charts, but I didn't think it was worth talking about because, of course, when they announced Yakuza Like a Dragon, which you want to play and I want to play. I mean, I've had a subtle interest in the Yakuza always, but the reason that we're excited for this one is because it's they changed it to be a more RPG thing, and it looks absolutely bonkers silly. But if I'll take a second to remember, like 12 months ago when they announced this thing, it was around E3 time, wasn't it? It was only like 6 months ago they announced it, I think. When they announced it, everyone spat it on Twitter for a while. All the hardcore Yakuza fans were like, no, ruin the game. You're not doing the same thing for the 7th time. How dare you try and do something different? That's horrible. But I think obviously the sales, if they're saying they're ahead of both Judgment, the last Yakuza, it's not a proper Yakuza game, but Yakuza spin-off game, obviously, and that was the last one to release. And then Yakuza Kiwami 2, which was the one to release before that. If it's ahead of both those in first week sales, I think that means that obviously, for most people, changing the way the Yakuza games are being made is more interesting than just making the same thing over and over and over. So that's good, and I look forward to when it releases here, probably near the end of the year. I don't know if I've ever seen they still haven't released a release date proper for it. As much as Ash likes to believe it was coming out at the same time in the world, all at the same time. It's not how it works. Disappointing. I
mean, sometimes dreams don't happen. So
this is true. This is true. I mean, it's all got to be. They got to translate it. They got to.
I guess it is not a big enough franchise to
do all that at the same time.
Do it, yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Worldwide launch. Yeah. Well, it's like if you do a worldwide launch, obviously that means you got to have all of the translations and updated UI and whatever else done at the same time. Whereas, yeah. So that's the thing with that. Anyway, fine. We'll talk about it more later in the year when we finally play it. The IMPY Award winners. So, Medium Molecule. We talked about this late last year, I think, or whenever it was. Medium Molecule announced that they were going to be doing the IMPY Awards the first time, and I'm hoping they continue to do them because I think it's a cool idea for just, I don't know, like, obviously it works really well for this, but like in general, doing like an award show for your like game community of players for different things is quite an interesting, cool thing, I thought. So, and they've posted up the winners for all of the awards here on the PlayStation blog. Do you want me to run down them all, or skip some?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Committed to run down them all. Give everyone here
these people need to be informed.
Yeah, I guess
they come.
Give everyone.
Yeah, they don't want half the facts; they want all the facts.
No, well, you're about to get all the facts, Most helpful.
Also, want you to read all these names. So,
well, I'm gonna. That's the only reason you want me to do this is to fuck up all these people's usernames. Most helpful dreamer. It doesn't. I know. I doesn't have the descriptions here for what all the awards were, and I don't want to go find the old article where they described them all. But I presume most helpful dreamer is like just like trying out different things. You know, like they helped a little bit in all sorts of different
Yeah, they might like just leave comments and that kind of thing, I would assume.
So these are Tap Gills, Jimmy Jules 153, Lady Lux UK, Neon Dakota, and Lucid Stew. You'll also begin to notice here that we mentioned a lot of the same people, so there are certainly hardcore dreamers. Best Curator, that's an obvious one. So _Tina, Pikachu, Gribble Grunger, Diamond Diancy, Lady Lux UK, back again. Community Star, Project Genesis, Tap Giles, Lady Lux UK, Ooda Ringinoo, Keld Blodes, Most Improved Dreamer. This is an interesting one because I'm like, it's the first year of awards. Like, how do you track the most improved? Surely everyone's most improved. Like, since the open beta started, you've improved at the game. Oh, who'd have thought? Skinny Chad, Stewed Roo, and Lotta _double. Aplonius, Mac 17, Kadoku _. Best visuals. These are actual games. So the games are Wolf Woods by Shandy Boy 1975, Beach by Pateka, Outpost 60 by Brian Taylor 60, Paintings by Oto Posty 1, and Pip Gemwalker by Man Chicken Turtle.
Wait, do you know who won?
It's the highlighted one, so Outpost 60. But okay. I'm just reading the
nominees,
the top 5 or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, should be. So Outpost 61. Best voice acting. The full list was Kelby Jones in Sheriff Dog and Pig Detective 2. Casey Jones in Opposites Day 5. Bella Iris in Computer Voices Collection. Reddish Boat Pig Detective Halloween Special. And Awesome _David in Witchy Woods. And the winner was Pig Detective 2 Kelby Jones. Best Character. Ruckus by Moschino 1935. Anastasia the Messenger Mage by Morning Naya. Roger Whitebeard by Putty Doke. Frederick the Fogs by Cody Bear 8383. And Bo by Bjertsen. And Frederick the Fox one. Good on you, Frederick. Bloody smashed it. Favorite streamer. Kelby Jones. Assert, Project Genesis, and Incelius, Project Genesis 1. The Award. It's basically the #Cuties award for the IMPYs. Color with Crayons by Marmite for Me. The Reach by Ryan 47. Fuzzy the Snowflake by Grumpy Pickles 5. Duet by Virenson. Rainbow Coast by Digital Thing. And Color with Crayons 1. Funniest Creation. Witchy Woods by Awesome _David. Opposite Day 2 by Mr. Casey Jones. Dating Friend Bot, The Survival Horror Experience by Frostdaddle. The Classical Order by SDXCX, fuck your name. Pig Detective, A Little Trouble in Little Cologne by Stewed _Roo and Lottie Double. And the winner was Witchy Woods. Best Song. That's right, best song. The IMPY Awards have it all, everyone. Yep. PGXJD Spavaddle by Pete Gray Official. Not the official, that's the official Vimeo account for them, not the fake one. Bees in a Boathouse by Jay Yoder and A. Wilder. Riveria Daylight by Mandelbo. Matt by Disarmed X. You and I All Night by fuck your name. Riveria Daylight won that one. Best Sculpture. One. Yeah, whatever. Best Sculpture, Dragon Showcase by Gofferman. It's a Sunset Lookout by It's Dig. Captain William Stone by Max 17. The Snag's Head by Mad GFX Snags. And The Collector 2 by Ryan 47. And The Collector 2 1. Oh my god, there's too many left, Ash. We can't do this. I'm just reading the winners for the end of them. The rest get fucked. The rest get fucked. The rest can't do it. What was I up to here? I scrolled down. Best Animation winner was Duet by Burson. Creator of the Year went to Slum Mackenzie. Best Gameplay was Kubrick by the Burger
Van.
Burger Van. Best narrative went to the game Memeo Prophecy by Razor Backswee. Hidden Gem Dream. Do robots dream of electric imps by Slurm Mackenzie. Best sound design went to Great Job Human, the Bevergen. I wish I had that. Yeah, right. Fuck them in the name. I'm sick of them. Go away. I hope they don't win anything ever again. I wish I had thought of that award. Went to Piano Player by Enigma 0123. Hidden Gem Creator went to Ord 6. And Dream of the Year, I'll read all these ones actually. So the Dream of the Year nominees was Topher Thebes and the Enchanted Crystal by Verbal Creative. Wind Up by Fireburn 02, Memeo Prophecy by Razor Backsway, Ruckus by Morshino 1935, Pig Detective, Adventures in Cowboy Town by Sidhu and Lote Double, Pig Gem Walker by Man Chicken Turtle, and Opposite Day 2, Regular Day by Mr. Casey Jones, and the winner for Best Game of the Year, Dream of the Year, however you want to call it, was Pig Detective, Adventures in Cowboy Town. We've not played any of those, so...
I do recall seeing Pig Detective during our times doing the... Like, I might have, but I don't recall, but obviously they've done a lot of Pig Detective games in the years since the game's come out, so props to them. So yeah, probably go back and give it a go, a proper go.
That's right. Announcing right now, starting from next week, the Dream segment is returning, and we'll be talking about all of the nominees and winners for the Dream of the Year. I think we'll leave. Do we do Pig Detective first, or do we just leave it to the end? That's the question. I mean,
maybe do Pig Detective first, then you set the bar at what everything else.
Yeah,
it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so we'll do Pig Detective next week, Adventures in Cowboy Town, the winner of the Dream of the Year, and then we'll each week after we'll talk about the rest of the best games.
It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we've talked in the past about them taking out games from Dreams to sell separately, and it sounds like Pig Detective wouldn't be a terrible option, like a collection of all their little things they've put together. Just throwing it out there.
What do you mean, like...
It sounds like they've done at least 3 or 4 different Pig Detective adventures.
Oh, right.
You bundle them all together as a collection and sell it, like, on Steam or something.
I mean...
Sony. City Rail
take these people
Double.
Take these people's hard work and make money out of it.
They get a cut as well. Jeez.
They should get the cut is what they should get.
A fair bit of a cut, yeah.
It says down the bottom here, it says they've got suggestions for categories and stuff, and I think these ones actually make sense. So it's like best music video, that makes sense because a lot of people do make their own music videos for either their own music or other people's music, obviously. Best remix, that one is actually a good idea too because obviously a lot of times people who are learning to understand the game are just remixing other people's levels and like changing some things. And then best historical sailing ships. Now that one
sounds like an important category.
That one's an important that one is a super important category. So looking forward to seeing where that one goes in the future.
But yes, go watch the IMPY Awards.
Yeah, IMPY Awards. It's
hour and 40-minute ceremony.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think they had like a 30-minute pre-show. So
okay, Jesus Christ, it's a lot. It must have been shown proper gameplay for each nominee. I guess.
I think they just dragged it out, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, they're having a good time. They're doing the jokes.
Yeah, do you need to do, guys? On top of Dreams, so over at pushsquare.com, right, Sony's Shuhei Yoshida describes Dreams as a 10-year project. The majority of people...
is that pre-release or post?
Well, I mean, it's post-release, I presume. So this comes from the IMPY Awards. So in case you weren't aware, last night was played host to the very first IMPY Awards, an award ceremony celebrating the best creations in Dreams. Media Molecule built a stage and audience, cute animations of fake commercials for its glitzy award show, and it was an utter delight. If you missed it and want to take a look, you can check out the archive video, of course, over at the YouTubes. The majority of people hosting and presenting awards during the IMPYs were from within Media Molecule, but there were some neat guest appearances. Min-Max's Ben Hansen, Kind of Funny's Greg Miller, and best of all, the one and only Shuhei Yoshida all chimed in with their thoughts and dreams and how far it's come. The latest speaker was perhaps most interesting. Yoshida now leads up PlayStation's in-house indie team, but he was formerly president at Worldwide Studios, so has an invaluable insight, and one comment in particular caught our attention. He said, quote, "You have seen these amazing creations in today's awards, but this is just the start. I've been saying that Dreams is going to be a 10-year project. Not 10 years in development, but 10 years after the launch. It sounds as though Shu is expecting Dreams to be the game that will continue to grow for a long time." He continued saying, "I cannot wait to see how this platform develops and how this tool will enable the future creators of video games that everybody will enjoy." I will say that I don't even think that's a load of bull, obviously. Dreams isn't even officially out until a couple weeks from now. So we're still at like year 0. We're not even kicking things off. And then, of course, there's all the rumors about it coming to PC, which would obviously make a lot of sense if that's a route they want to go with it eventually. The only problem I have with that is obviously a lot of the game's tools being built around using the DualShock. So I'm like, I don't know how that.
I feel like you need to have a DualShock if it's going to be.
I feel like, so I'm like, that's my only hang up on that. But the whole idea of bringing Dreams to PC makes perfect sense, as long as they can protect it from people like modding stuff into it. Because then it's like, I feel like they need to keep their tools enclosed to be what it is. So then it's like the second people start modding it and they're breaking it, and you can play those games on the PS4, but you can't do it because it's being modded or something. You know, like, I don't know. There'll be a way to do it properly. But obviously, I feel like they're going to announce it'll come to PS5. I think that's obviously a given. And by that, I mean more than just, hey, it's backwards compatible. You can just play it along. I feel like they would have to give it some sort of rejig and be like, hey, it's a PS5 game. It's a PS4 game. It's a PS5 game as well. So yeah, and things are just kicking off. They'll continue to build tools, make things better. I think the most interesting thing about having it be like a long project, as well as, of course, as technology changes so fast these days, it's like, well, what can they do in a year from now? Like, you know, people are always adding motion tracking in now using DualShocks. 5 years from now, people are actually going to have proper mocap happening in Dreams, probably. I don't know. Either way, Dreams is interesting.
Yeah. I guess the only question I have is how they're going to fund 10 years worth of development and updating. Because it can't just be from game sales, because there's only a limited amount of those.
I would presume...
Or is it just Sony like, hey, this is more important than the bottom line. We'll keep funding you even though we don't think... Or is it, like I said, they're going to pull stuff out and sell that separate just to keep Dreams?
I 100% think eventually they have DLC packs. And I think how you do it is fine, because like it could just be like... How do
you do that without people making the DLC packs in Dreams afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, that is a... that is a thing. But it's like, you could make premium enough like handcrafted elements to help like make your games, or like music packs for games, you know what I mean? Like, here's a bunch of tunes or something like that we've...
Okay, yeah, like Imagine Dragons releases music in Dreams.
Yeah, they're like, Imagine Dragons made some instrumental tracks. Here, buy the DLC pack and you can use them in the game, or something like that. I feel like that's the way they'd have to go about it, for sure. Or they're just like, hey, we made some more, I don't know, modes. You got to pay for them, expansions. Like, if they do a massive expansion that adds like a ridiculous amount of new abilities, like if they had already announced VR and they did release VR a year from now, they can make people pay for it, you know?
A creator pass. And you have to make creations to like fill it up, and then you unlock like badges and stuff. Yeah. No.
No. Creator pass. Get the hell out of here. Bluepoint Games has continued to tease their next thing. So over at Push Square, they wrote, Bluepoint Games PS5 project aims to define the visual benchmark for the next gen. Remake Masters, Bluepoint Games is talking a very, very big game when it comes to a mysterious PlayStation 5 title. Through various comedic Twitter teasers and comments published alongside fresh next-gen details in wide articles, the Austin-based studio suggests it's cooking up something hot. It's probably Demon Souls, so they say here. And with it, the developer is aiming to define the visual benchmark for the next generation of gaming hardware. That is a quote. The quote has surfaced by the way of a refresh of Bluepoint Games' website, where it makes tantalizing case to bring budding developers under its wing. From discussing its previous projects, including Shadow of the Colossus to Nathan Drake Collection, to explaining its culture, it sounds like a lovely place to work. Although we're here to learn about the team's take on the From Software masterpiece. They're very dead set, push square, on it being Demon Souls. Hey, I want to point out, so this the quote, to define the visual benchmark for the next generation of gaming hardware. That makes, for some reason, I read that and I go, okay, so it's a launch title. For whatever reason. You know what I mean? I'm like, to define the visual benchmark for the next generation hardware, it sounds like they're like, we want to set the kind of, out the gate. This is next gen, baby. Look how great our game looks, And they've been working on it for long enough to the point where I could believe it's going to be a launch game, and they're like, the like a big launch game where they're like, look, massive, it's beautiful, love it all. Now, and of course, one thing I do want to point out, because last time I cut out last time we talked about Bluepoint Games' thing on here, like a couple months ago, I cut out a segment. And I put them on YouTube. If you don't know, everyone, youtube.com/Explosion Network, we upload the podcast there in video form. You can see our faces and whatever else. And I usually cut out one discussion point from the podcast and post it up separately. And for one particular week, I cut out when we was discussing what the hell game that I was going to be making for the Bluepoint game. And we never mentioned Legend of Dragoon. And then that video got lots and lots of comments.
No, we mentioned it. We did. I didn't know. I'm not sure if you didn't know. It is a Sony exclusive game.
I'd like to clarify, not only did I not know what the hell Legend of Dragoon was, I had no idea it's a Sony exclusive game, and I had no idea that I was supposed to care about it. I'm now very much aware that Legend of Dragoon fans are hardcore, and they were very upset. So I just want to say, Push Square, over here in this article writing it's going to be Demon Souls. Y'all need to be careful, because you'll piss off these Legend of Dragoon fans. You're in trouble.
Knowing very little about Legend of Dragoon and knowing very little about Demon Souls, it sounds like Legends of Dragoon would be the bigger, like, more widely acceptable one. Like easier for a fan base to get into than Demon Souls, a Soulsborne game. Whereas Legend of Dragoon is like your basic RPG.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it was. They may update it and make it more like Final Fantasy, I guess.
Yeah.
If that's a thing. I don't know. I really can't talk about it because until they started commenting on the video, being like, you fucking guys, Legend of Dragoon. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I knew of Legends of Dragoon, but literally all I knew of it is like, it's a title of a game I remember seeing on boxes that I never played or like picked up from game stores when PS1 was out. So yeah, that's a thing, and I hope that it's one of these games to make everyone happy. Whatever one that it's going to make everyone happy, I hope it's that one, and whatever it is.
But yeah, it's going to be Siphon Filter.
Lock it in. It's going to be Siphon Filter. That's the one I want the most. That's the thing. Fuck all you. I want Siphon Filter. The Six Axis writes, PlayStation gets a new slogan. It's time to play. Although the PlayStation 5 logo is sticking very much to the design set in the days of the PlayStation 3, it looks like the current slogan used across the PlayStation brand may be on its way out. That saying, of course, for the players, has been used for years and is a pretty snappy tagline. It clearly states that Sony have their customers' interests at heart and has a subtle nod to the current iteration of the console. However, PlayStation Europe's official Twitter account has removed the slogan and replaced it with the rather more bland, "It's time to play." And yeah, if you go to their account, it's still up there. So they then write, what's more interesting is the slogan change was quote unquote leaked last week by a notorious internet dumpster fire, 4chan. I appreciate they at least call it what it is here. However, that leak may just be conjecture. The same logo was used for the most recent PlayStation Now advert. PlayStation French website, which has recently updated to show which controllers work on the current models of PlayStation 4, blah, 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 blah. And they've also, so we can now confirm the PS4 DualShock controller work as well. I think it's a legit update, and I think it makes perfect sense. No? Like, new console, change the slogan?
I guess, but it's not very interesting or good. I mean, now it's the time to play? What have we been doing this last 20 years?
No, it doesn't matter. It's just like PlayStation 5. You know, it's time to play. Play, man. It's time to play. Grab your PS5, go out. It's time to play. None of these slogans are good until they're kind of like, you've heard them to a point that you're like, yeah, that's catchy. It's time to play.
I mean, you go from it's for the players, which implies it's for the customers. You know, it makes us feel good. To it's time to play.
Yeah. No?
Listen. Time to play. Put down, stop eating, it's time to play.
Yeah.
Stop doing your homework, it's time to play.
Yeah.
Stop going to work, it's time to play.
It's mind tricks, you know.
Yeah. Tell you who's not happy with this change. The pop culturists.
Call it out. Call it out.
Yep.
Actually, it works out better for them because it means that all of a sudden they wouldn't be like, potentially copyright stealing a name.
Pretty sure if that was an issue, they would have been in trouble 100 plus episodes ago.
Like, fucking change it so we can just copyright the podcast.
Coming next week, it's time to play Explosion.
It's time to play Explosion podcast. Number 1.
Episode 1.
PlayStation podcast, PlayStation 5 podcast in the Oceanias. Yeah, I don't know. It really could be, of course, because it's time to play. The name is PlayStation Network advert, and they could have just updated the Twitter to be concise with that, of course.
Yes,
but I think putting this, I think putting that for PlayStation Now in the bio and deleting the for the players part that's been there for so long, I'm like, look, PlayStation Now isn't that big. You're not deleting for the players from your bio for fucking
unless they're
PlayStation
going to make
Now
an announcement that PS Now is coming everywhere.
I mean, I kind of fully expect that to happen.
At PS5 launch.
At the PS5 launch, yeah. But we'll see. Anyway, I expect them to delete that fucking thing off their Twitter by the time this posts. Anyway, Horizon Zero Dawn multiplayer seeking staff for multiplayer experience, writes IGN. Horizon Zero Dawn developer Guerrilla is looking for a game programmer to work on an epic open world game, which would ideally have multiplayer experience. At current, Guerrilla has yet to announce what its current project is, but open world descriptor in this new senior game programmer job listing points towards a potential Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. The listing also notes that the game features, quote, ranged and melee combat, weapons, combat, and traversal mechanics, which are all characteristics applicable to Horizon, or at least games with similar traits. This all makes the plus point of experience in multiplayer interesting, as original Horizon was purely a single-player game. While it's impossible to draw concrete conclusions from this posting, it does point to Guerrilla at least considering a multiplayer component for its next open-world game. In short, if this is Horizon 2, then it may feature multiplayer. I don't really want multiplayer in Horizon. Do you?
I mean, it's interesting to think about what potentially a multiplayer mode could look like. I think I pitched the idea of a battle royale set in the Horizon universe, like with the creatures that you have to fight along the way to get collectibles and that kind of thing.
This is true.
That could be interesting. I think it would be interesting if they do a similar thing to what they're planning to do with Last of Us Part 2, where they do a multiplayer mode potentially separate. Especially if it's not going to be their day one.
What if they don't do Last of Us multiplayer at all, and then the Horizon's
Buddy Watson will cry.
yeah, Buddy will cry, and Horizon's the new multiplayer PlayStation experience. Naughty Dogs, we're sick of trying. None of it ever worked enough. Got popular enough. Uncharted, Last of Us. Whatever.
Asymmetrical gameplay. You play as a hunter, and then everybody else plays as like a robot.
So it's just the Predator game now.
Yeah.
Please, Aloy, and take down your things. I mean, obviously there are variations of it that could work. They would all have to be just your non-typical deathmatchy type stuff, obviously. Do I want a Horizon? But it's funny that you say The Last of Us, because really, as I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about The Last of Us multiplayer, it's funny how Horizon could like make a sort of similar Last of Us-ish multiplayer mode. Because if you did a Horizon mode that's similar to Last of Us, in case people don't know, Last of Us multiplayer, like you spawn in with a gun, but you don't have much ammo and whatever else, and you're kind of supposed to like sneak around and like find crafting elements, and it brings over the single player elements of you have to like craft stuff and like med packs and whatever else to survive and all this stuff. But Horizon could actually do a sort of similar thing if they did 6x6. It's like you have to big enough map and like you have to kill the the creatures to get gear to craft better weapons. So while you're on the lookout for the other enemies, you're trying to like hunt down dinosaurs, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know. You're trying to hunt them down and kill them to get better gear at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that could potentially work. Yeah.
Do you go take down the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex looking one?
Yeah.
That'll surely have some awesome weapon result.
Yeah.
But then you risk the other team coming up and taking you out behind.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time.
Yeah. Sold.
Hit me up, Gorilla. I have no multiplayer experience, but I've got ideas.
Yeah. And that's all that matters, That's all that it matters to make these sorts of things work in the real world. The real world. But yeah, if that happens, sure. But if it's a just typical deathmatchy or whatever, capture the flag or any variations of that stuff, I don't care. I don't want that. The Battle Royale idea you've had as well, it's not a bad one. But do I want more Battle Royales? is the problem.
You want good Battle Royales.
Well, yeah, that's true. All right, so PlayStation Lifestyle, multiple Kingdom Hearts projects in the works. New team will release a game surprisingly soon. On the heels of the latest Kingdom Hearts 3 update, a slew of new information about the future of the series has been revealed. Most notably, 2 new teams are working on Kingdom Hearts related projects at Square Enix, with one of them set to release a game surprisingly soon. There was also mention that Remind will be Kingdom Hearts 3's first and last DLC, with no other content planned for the future. And the possibility of a final mix version of the game doesn't seem to be in the cards either, with modern game updates and DLC, Remind and the latest update essentially make the current Kingdom Hearts 3 version a final mix. In a Q&A with director Tetsuya Nomura on the Japanese Kingdom Hearts Twitter account, as translated by user Gold Panna, the director spends time discussing Kingdom Hearts 3's Remind DLC and how it ties into the main game. Nomura explains that the content is different from the final mix versions of past games by saying, quote, "We released final mixes to adjust the balance of and add things to the entire game. Remind is an independent content that you can enjoy after beating the main game. That said, we also did add English voices to the Japanese version, limit cut bosses, and other things you'll find familiar from final mixes. So other than the fact that the main game hasn't changed much, you can basically think of this as equivalent of a final mix." Looking at the future of this series, Nomura revealed that 2 new teams have been branched off to work on Kingdom Hearts related projects. Nomura stated that one of the new teams will release a title surprisingly soon, and that Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Crew is getting a surprising announcement tomorrow. We still need some time with regards to the main line Kingdom Hearts, but first up, Kingdom Hearts Union Key team will have a surprising announcement tomorrow. It was just a mobile thing that's happening. We actually have 2 new teams in operation, and from one of them, one title will be coming surprisingly soon. My biggest question is, in Kingdom Hearts terms, what is surprisingly soon? Like 10 years? That's surprisingly soon, 5 years? That's soon for Kingdom Hearts.
3 years, within 3 years, that's surprisingly soon.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people could potentially read this story.
I think it would be surprising, but also realistic.
Yeah. I just don't, I feel like people could be reading this and be like, oh, surprisingly soon, like this year, next year, fuck, that'd be mad. But it's like, let's calm down and think about how long
it could be. It depends on what the actual game is.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it a Kingdom Hearts fighting game? We play as Keyblade fighters.
Oh, Goofy, let's chuck out and duel up, Donald.
Yeah. How fun would it be to play as somebody and keep beating up Goofy?
I don't want to do that personally, but I like Goofy. What are you going to get? It's Goofy. Come on now.
And I will say this. You don't think they're going to release a final mixed version of Kingdom Hearts 3 with Reminded included in the physical edition?
Oh, they'll just release Kingdom Hearts 3 cross symbol ultimate complete total full package edition.
Yeah, definitely.
Final mix. I do find it interesting that they've got like, because for a long, I think in the lead up to Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't know if it was just me or I felt like it was the going kind of narrative. I felt like a lot of people thought that 3 was actually going to be the finish, or like wrap up the main story, and then maybe they do a bunch of spin-offs and stuff, but like the main like kind of run of Kingdom Hearts was going to finally close its chapter. And of course, Kingdom Hearts 3 ends and it just opens a new book. So the release Kingdom Hearts 3 and the fact that they're like, oh, we've now got like 2 other teams working on Kingdom Hearts games. It's literally like they've amped up Kingdom Hearts after 3. Like, and I don't know if that comes down to the fact that it sold really well, reviewed quite well, obviously. Was still, it kind of just proved that Kingdom Hearts is still going to be super popular, I guess, as a core game, you know, not like a 3DS game or a Vita game or mobile game, what have you. So I don't know if they were actually surprised themselves with how well it did, and now they're like, oh fuck, that's great, let's two teams go work Kingdom Hearts games, do what you need to do. Nomura, you got ideas? He was like, do I have ideas? You got fucking ideas? Alternate realities, time travel, fucking shit. Let's go crazy.
Yeah, I got ideas. I just need to finish these 16 Final Fantasy VII remakes.
Yeah, that's.
But you know, I'm sure I can do both at the same time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Or they started the projects and told him he was the director afterwards.
Yeah,
that seems more likely.
That's how I think his job works. Hey,
it's like, what? Another thing?
We're working on a Final Fantasy IX remake that's like 7. That's cool. Who's working on it? You are. You're
director.
I'm gonna. What's my job? Yeah,
you got a meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was going to take a vacation.
Poor Nomura.
Yeah.
Worth noting, I have brought the DLC. I haven't got a chance to sit down and get into it. I think a lot of the problem is that the 2 times I thought about playing it last week was I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, I got work this afternoon, but I have like 2.5 hours. But even then, with like 2.5 hours, I was like, is 2.5 hours enough to sit down and start this, or will I watch an hour of a cutscene and then have to get off? You know, like I don't know what to expect because I haven't looked up what happens or how long it is, or you know, like
I have seen the meme going around that they've used from Marriage Story. It's like, I love Kingdom Hearts, even though it doesn't make any sense anymore. Oh,
I mean that's a general. That's just Kingdom Hearts. That's anything post Kingdom Hearts 1. Yeah. So we'll I think when we both play the DLC, we'll talk about that on here, of course, as well. Couple weeks from now, I'd presume anyone that cares about it by then will have played it, hopefully. So,
and you're not excited for the Xehanort prequel mobile game?
It's a fucking mobile game, and I mean, not that I got anything about mobile games, but like knowing what their mobile games are, I expect it to be some free to play microtransaction-y, like login daily awards, Xehanort bullshit. You know?
Yeah,
that's what I would expect from like Square Enix's past efforts of.
And it's probably going to be super important to understanding the story of the entire thing.
But the important thing of Kingdom Hearts games, Ash, now let me point this out to you here. I have not played Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Keys uppity. You know what I have done, though, is watched YouTube videos of people explaining to me what happens in it. That's important. I've read the Wikipedia. I don't need to play that shit. I just read the plot update. They're like, oh, a new update came out for Union Cross the other day. I'm like, cool, what happened? Here, this thing happened. There was a box. All right, cool, whatever.
Yeah, but you didn't have a gaming podcast when that came out, so...
Yeah, it's true, I suppose. It's good. Even it up. Last of Us animated short film was in works. So, a lovely portfolio spotted by Nerd4.life has revealed that Naughty Dog and Sony were and possibly still are collaborating with an animation studio to create a bridging short film between The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. On Oddfellow's website, the company posted about their work on The Last of Us animated short that would have bridged the two games and allow new and old fans to get a recap of the story so far. The page has since been pulled down, but not before the internet has saved the images. You can find all of them over on Imager, however the fuck you say it, I don't know. So their post they put up basically said that they were working on this as a bridging thing between Last of Us and for Sony for the two games, and they got quite far into it, and then Sony apparently decided they're like, nah, this isn't working for us anymore, so shut it down. Obviously, I don't think they were supposed to post about it quite yet because they put it up on their portfolio, but then as soon as it got spotted and the internet was like, oh wow, look at this, it quickly got taken down. So Sony must have been like, you weren't supposed to post that yet. But I also think that
they were probably going to be allowed to post it, but then the game got delayed and they just didn't update the timings.
It's possible. Yeah. I think that just because Sony stopped this project, even though it was quite far, that doesn't say to me that they've stopped the idea completely. Now, they could have. They could be like, oh, we don't want to do that at all anymore. Or it could have been they were like, this isn't going the way we want, and they could have just taken the idea to another place, you know? So, but what we had here, looking at the images that they had up in the portfolio, which will eventually come back, I presume, I thought it looked quite cool. I like the art style. I like the idea of this project.
Some shots are better than others.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's probably concept art, and you know, it's not like screenshots from the actual film, particularly. And it obviously isn't a finished final product, so hard to fully judge. But in general, I like the idea of this. No,
yeah, it's like a recap.
Yeah,
thing for you to rather than playing the entire game again. That would be crazy. Before the next game came out, you can just watch a 20-minute like recap
short film. Yeah.
A short film rather than just like people editing together like a recap video.
Yeah,
like I mean, it's not a terrible idea.
No, good idea. Which makes me be like, well, have they actually cancelled it?
But then do they think, oh no, people who've never played the game before won't go play the game? They'll just watch this video.
Come on, if you was going to play The Last of Us by now, surely you would have played the goddamn Last of Us by now. You know.
There's new gamers every day. There's young kids turning to an age where they should be allowed to play Last of Us every day.
These Fortnite kids are like, you can't jump in the game? I ain't playing that. Bullshit.
It's like, they turn. I was trying to think of what age people get out of Fortnite, but
they don't.
They turn 45 and they're like, hey, now's I'm mature enough to play The Last of Us.
Only then. And only then. But yeah, I hope I'd like to see more of this or a different version. And then finally, PS5 startup sequence is likely fake but still lovely, writes pushsquare.com. Up until the PlayStation 4 and PS Vita, Sony used to invest a lot of time and resources into its console startup sequences. We suppose the PS1 is the most iconic of these, but the PS2, PS3, and even PlayStation Portable had great intro scenes which are etched into our collective memories. So which direction will the PlayStation 5 take then? Well, one Twitter user is frantically sharing a clip with pretty much everyone on social media, which he claims is the official PS5 startup sequence. Our view is that this is almost certainly fake, but we're actually rather fond of the sound effects that he's used. The video ends with some kind of QR code which won't scan for us, but maybe one of you will have better luck. To be honest, the Japanese giant has been pushing the immediacy of the PS5 a lot as promotional material, so we're expecting it to be practically forego startup sequences entirely. It'll probably pop the PlayStation 5 logo on screen, much the same as the PS4, but then it'll want you to get right into your dashboard so you can access your games. And pretty much that last couple sentences there is why I would say that this is fake.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's antithetical to part of the next gen's like hype train, you know? Like,
I mean, maybe you can have the option to have a startup video.
Why would you want a startup?
Do you need a few moments to prepare yourself to play games? You can have a startup video at the start of the PS5 launching. Get you in the mood. nostalgia. It's part of like a theme or something.
I mean, maybe. And I mean, there's other possibilities for it being real. It could be, this could not be part of it could be a debug unit, could be a prototype unit, potentially. This could just be something that this unit does. It might not be actually part of the final unit when they've got rid of the screen or something, potentially. Like, it could just be one of these sorts of things. But all in all, I would say that if A, you're someone who's after a startup screen to your console, you got too much time in your day, and B, it's the opposite of their whole promotion plan, you know? Like, they've literally said in the Wired article and everything, oh, we want you to be able to get into games so fast. Like, we want you to be able to get there, and you're playing, and you turn your console on, next second you're fucking swinging through New York City, you're Spider-Man, go, 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 go. And here we've got a video of a, like, let me just click on it here. Let me time it. It's roughly, 8 to this, before it loads up to that QR screen, it's like, Jesus, it's like 16 seconds before it gets to potentially starting up. No, that ain't real. No way are they making you spend 16-ish seconds on a fucking boot up screen. No, I'm calling no. What are you voting on this?
Yeah, this is fake. It's definitely fake because someone in the comments says, this video was created by a CGI artist and posted on his YouTube channel. People took it and spread it over as if it was a real leak.
Where's the link? We have breaking news.
No, the poster didn't include a link.
Oh, damn. Oh, what the, who am I supposed to believe? Bloody fake news everywhere. Crazy.
It's true. It's all true.
Can't believe anyone. New segment time, Ash. I want to introduce a brand new segment for every couple of weeks or months or however it happens, because I don't know what the jingle is. Maybe I just played some music, or I don't know how we've suddenly transitioned
just
here.
Jingle from the video game.
Jingle from the death sound maybe is what I've used. That's a good idea, Future John. Do that. So the new segment is I'm going to call it "What the Fuck's Up with the Uncharted Movie." Because I was like, instead of including it in the normal news every week,
it's so regular, it deserves its own segment.
It deserves its own segment. So over at Deadline, they've wrote Uncharted pushed back on Sony release schedule. Who'd have fucking thought? A couple of weeks after Deadline reported that Ruben Fleischer was atop the list to direct Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg and Sony Pictures Uncharted, and the race was on to keep the pick on track to shoot before the next installment of Holland's Spider-Man. The studio changed the release date of the Columbia Pictures auctioneer. The studio said late Friday is pushed Uncharted from its December 18th, 2020 release date to March 5th, 2021. The 3-month shift was one of several moves noted by Sony, which also tonight updated its Master Universe and blah, 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 blah. So they make it sound like it could just be a whole scuffle with a bunch of other release dates and stuff in the way and whatever else. But we all know the truth, and that's that this movie is never coming out, and that's that's it. But this new segment, we're going to keep you updated of the updates of Uncharted, the movie.
I mean, 3 months is a surprisingly short delay. I would have expected they're like, hey, let's just shoot it after we do Spider-Man. Yeah. That gives a new director time to
have a script.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there is a script. Just, mold it however they want to see fit. Although with Ruben Fleischer, I'm like, maybe that's not a great idea, but I mean, honestly, if it just gives more time to get another director on the project. Yeah,
that's right. So I look forward to, I don't know, maybe as close as 2 weeks from now when we find out what are we up to? Like 8th director the next one would be? 7th, 8th? I don't know. I feel like it's that high, right?
I think it's like 6.
Yeah. So like the 7th director's coming in next. Yeah. And that's been your Uncharted movie update for this week. The fuck's up with Uncharted? Thank you for joining us on the show this week. You can follow me on Twitter at VVLADIL, VRVALADIO. Follow Ash on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHBLEY. You can follow this show, of course, on Twitter at Platt Podcast. Help out the show by either giving us a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser. Alternatively, if you like the show, be sure to tweet at all the things and tweet the things. You can join our Discord to chat to us about games, ask for trophy tips or all sorts of things, send in topics and questions for the show. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. And this is a product of the Explosion Network, in which you can find many more shows, articles, news, reviews at ExplosionNetwork.com. And you can follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod. Till next week at Wednesday, remember. Wednesday morning. Remember, every trophy counts.